Hello and welcome back. Today's question is it too late to hire a doula?
This is Kaely Daily, the bi-weekly podcast about all things doula tips and tips, where we answer one question about pregnancy, labor, postpartum, or lactation in order to have your journey in this parenting world be just a little bit more informed and filled with consent.
Hello, welcome back to Kaely Daily. I'm Kaely Harrod, the host of this lovely podcast. And today's question is another doula question. So it's a pretty short and sweet. Is it too late to hire a doula? Now, obviously, it depends a little bit on where you are and what kind of doula you're wanting to hire. And so, like always, I'm going to add some caveats to this. In general, if you are still pregnant, it's not too late to hire a birth doula. If you are postpartum and you're within the first 2 years, I'd say postpartum, it's not too late to hire a postpartum doula. However, the longer you wait, the less options you have in terms of a doula. And also, that depends a little bit on the accessibility of doulas in your area, okay? So let's say you live in a fairly remote area and you have maybe like a handful of doulas or even just like two, right? Then there's less of a chance of being able to hire a doula last minute because they tend to fill up faster, okay? If you're in an area like I am, like DC, there are, I would say, thousands of doulas, like probably, truly. And that means you have less of an option. Like if someone calls me today and say, I'm due right now, can you be my doula? I'd have to say no, because I have people due until January. Like I'm full until January at this point, right? And so I'd have to say no to that person. However, there are other people that have availability right now in the DC area for sure. Okay. Now, how much care you want and who you want that care from is going to have to be a little bit more flexible if you're hiring someone really last minute. Okay. So think about if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm 39 weeks pregnant and I'm just now like starting to learn about doulas and I'm like, oh man, I really need a doula. You still have some options, right? Some of us provide virtual care. So care that's like a consultation or like a birth planning chat or something like that. Some of us provide things like a comfort measure session. So you might not have a doula like in person with you, or maybe you don't want that, but you can do kind of some of the like comfort measure portion of what a doula does with a doula beforehand. Also, there are some people who are able to do like virtual, like video chat kind of doula support. And they have more accessibility usually for how many people they can take because they're not physically having to be at that location. So those are all the different ways that you could get a last minute doula. One resource that I find very helpful is doulamatch.com. And I don't have any kind of sponsorship from them, although maybe I should, because they allow a doula to update their availability. And so you can look with your actual due date and your zip code, who is available for my due date in my area. So that also gives you a good frame of reference for like what your options are, right? For postpartum care, I would say sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. Like if someone calls and says, okay, I need a doula tonight, right? You're going to be more likely to get that kind of care if you're calling an agency or a doula company where they have multiple providers, right? If you're calling like a single doula like myself, like a kind of work alone sort of doula, then I probably don't have availability tonight, but I might be able to connect you with someone. So there's a chance that you could get a referral to somebody or a connection to someone else, but that particular doula might not be available. Okay. So the short and sweet answer to this is probably it's not too late to hire a doula. You might have to be more flexible in what you're looking for and less choosy about who that person is. And also, it doesn't hurt to reach out because one of the ways that you find out if anyone is available is by reaching out. So start there. give yourself a little bit of support in the process, and then kind of from there see what's possible for you. Okay. I do value very much supported and well-educated birth times. So if you're 38, 39, 40 weeks and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't have a doula, but I really need some education, or I really want a birth plan or something like that, please do reach out to me, because I am happy to either help connect you with someone in your area or in my area, or to help provide some guidance on writing a birth plan or talking through your preferences, etc., and giving you an idea of what that language and things like that can look like. So the easiest way to contact me is my email, which is actually below. And then also on Instagram via like a private message. That is also a good way to contact me. And you're welcome to send me a question about this episode, or a question about doula services, or a question that you would like me to cover in this doula mini series. As a reminder, our next series is postpartum stuff. And so if you have a postpartum question, please start sending it my way so I can add it into that series before we get everything recorded. So, all right. In the meantime, until I talk to you again, I wish you well-informed, consent-filled birthing and postpartum experiences.
These episodes are edited and produced by Kaely Harrod, as I'm sure you can probably tell. And our amazing music is credited in the show notes as well. So we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. And in the meantime, have wonderful and consent-filled births.